I love you with my heart, with my soul, with every fiber of my entire being. How are you feeling right now, beautiful soul? So I wanted to share a little message with you today, this morning, about extraterrestrial judgment. Now, here on Earth, we're here in these human bodies, right? But if you go back through galactic history, I mean, we all came from the stars. We all came down here onto this planet from somewhere else. We're descendants of other beings. And humanity itself, for a long, long time, has been genetically raped and pillaged. And our DNA has been spliced and cloned, and humans themselves, like right now, are shadows of their former selves. And some of us have been spliced with different species, and it's not our fault. It's none of us are to blame. There are human beings here on this planet that are aware of their kind of genetic lineage and do actively play a role in this game. But most humans on this planet are being used and manipulated in some way, shape or form. And there are obviously lots of human beings on the planet at the moment, like yourself, listening to this video right now, that are waking up and becoming more conscious and are starting to really kind of understand like your divine mission here and why we're here on planet Earth. And as we wake up and we become more conscious, it's much easier for us to love others and to be more conscious and to be more compassionate and to be more accepting of other people. Now, what you hear sometimes in this kind of like spiritual community, this new age group, I don't even like to use those terms, like spiritual community, new age group. I think they're BS, to be honest with you, because, you know, even in these kind of like spiritual fields, there's so much manipulation, there's so much corruption, there's so much like misleading. And you know, that even within this kind of like spiritual world that we kind of like, you know, we're playing around in, people are fed information, and this information isn't always real, even though the human being that is receiving this information, it really seems real. And I've received information lots of different times, and the information's been false. But, you know, when you're kind of aware, you ask and you reconnect and you question and you really get to the bottom of the information until you realize, you know, whether the information is real or not. And sometimes we get duped for a short period of time because the game is really clever, and the stuff that has been done to humanity has been done in such a way with such advanced technology that it's really hard to see the lies and the corruption and the manipulation sometimes. And you've just got to look around the planet. You know, there are still so many people walking around asleep that haven't got a clue about a lot of this stuff, and you can't really judge them, you can't really blame them, because what's been done to them has been done in such a clever way that it really is hard to wake up from this sleep. But there are certain people that have, you know, things happen to them, and you can't stay asleep anymore. I mean, it's happened to me, it's happened to millions of people, but there are still many, many people asleep. Now, what you see in these kind of spiritual circles sometimes is like they'll look at other people and say, oh, you know, you're a draconian, you're a reptilian, you know, you're this, you're that, you're this type of being. And maybe there are genetic encodements from some of these other species within some of these human beings on planet Earth. But if human beings are waking up and becoming conscious of the truth, regardless of what they've been spliced and cloned with, and regardless of what you know, is really held in their in their gene codes because of the manipulation over, you know, many years. We're not talking about thousands of years, we're talking about billions of years. There's been issues within the matrix that we've been trapped in. Many wars, much corruption, and many humans over the course of time have got stuck in this matrix and reincarnated in this matrix and have not been able to find their way out because their DNA isn't fully activated, and the DNA has to be fully activated to enable the human being to be compatible to ascend through the Stargate systems. And for those of you that don't know, if we go back through the history, you know, 250-ish plus billions of years ago, there was a big catastrophe in the stars, and there was some decisions made where things happened up in the Lyran system, and Stargates were manipulated and corrupted, and one Stargate in particular was blown up and destroyed, and that detached the system that we're involved in from the original primary light and sound fields. And it was Stargate 11 in Lyra that got destroyed, and you know, certain species have helped rebuild that Stargate and redo the connection. But it took our system into a space where we could easily be manipulated, and our gene code could be played around with, and we kind of went down. We became less of a species, less of a race, you know, less of our potential. And what's happening right now on planet Earth is we're starting to remember that we must activate our DNA to go back through the Ark of the Covenant, through Giza, for example, in Egypt, which is a passageway out through the Stargate matrix back up to the original, you know, primary light and sound fields, so we can leave this this time-based matrix and go to another place, or maybe go back to source, or wherever it is that we decide to go to afterwards. But this whole game has been manipulated, and the point I'm trying to make here in this video, I've gone on a few tangents, but whilst we're here, and you know, we all come from different kind of lineages, you know, galactic lineages, and many of us have been kind of played around with in a way mathematically, and we have like the gene codes of certain, like what people would say, a negative species. But within a lot of, well, within all species there are positive and negative, right? But you see people like, well, they're a nasty race, stay away from them. You know, that human being, you can see they've got this kind of element in their template. You know, they're bad, they're this, they're that. What I'm saying is, if a human being has made it this far, okay, and a human being is doing the inner work and really reigniting and realigning their own template, their own mathematics, their own inner geometry, then they deserve a pat on the back, they deserve a big hug, they deserve a well done. Not judgment, not blame that you're this or you're that. That's all bullshit. What we've got to do is respect each other and realize that everyone has been caught up in this game. Okay, even a lot of the world leaders, you know, a lot of these rich families that control the planet, even some of those guys, they are being completely manipulated, you know, by really intelligent, sophisticated beings, okay, that are so powerful, and they're using human beings they're here right now on this planet to play out a game, or to play out a story of war that has been going on in the galaxy, throughout the stars for billions of years. It's all manifesting here on this planet, and we're reaching a time in our human evolution where, you know, our planetary stargates are going to reopen, and also you know, the rods that are here on the planet that create massive amounts of energy. You've also got our inner crystal cathedrals. There's many like elements of the planetary architecture that are coming online, and we're going to have a window of opportunity to move through this planetary architecture and get out of this this matrix that we're involved in, and ascend. And, you know, by us doing the work, meditation, qigong, eating clean, realigning our mathematics through certain sound codes, light codes, and bringing our DNA templates back online to our original blueprint, we're going to be able to do that and get out of this matrix. And whilst we're going through this process, we've really got to love, okay? It comes down to love. We have to love so much, so strongly, so fiercely and ferociously. Like you hear me in all my videos say love fiercely and ferociously. And I can't stress this enough, right? Because the game is so corrupt, and the illusion is so vast, and the holographic inserts that are laid and overlaid with overlays within this human environment can make you think certain things, feel certain emotions, see things, believe things, and it can corrupt your consciousness in such a way that it's really easy to look at someone and say, you're this, you're that, I judge you for this reason or that reason or whatever it is. But we've really got to love fiercely and ferociously to burn through that bullshit. And it's really important that we see each other as human beings, okay, that are here to work together to reignite that flame, that divine diamond sun flame inside of our hearts, that diamond sun flame that will reignite the divine spark of our genetic original template, you know, our crystal template, okay, that Christic frequency that we're returning back to. And it's got absolutely nothing to do with Christian religion or Christ or anything like that. It's to do with frequency and sound and vibration. And we have the power and the potential inside of us to stay strong through these times, and to stay focused and not get manipulated, and to see the truth through the illusion, and to realize that we're here, okay, as a family to work together. And judging and blaming is not going to get us out of this mess, okay? Loving fiercely and ferociously. At the same time, you know, to use discernment and not to just completely trust everything, because that's not good either, okay? We've got to use discernment. We've got to realize that there's manipulation, and to play the game to the best of our ability, and to help each other out, okay? And to be compassionate, and to make sure that we realign this geometrical gene code so that we can leave through the Stargate systems, and our body can be compatible. This is the thing, right? It's like taking a certain voltage and plugging it into a socket that can't handle that voltage, okay? The plug, the socket, the fuse is going to blow, something's going to go wrong, okay? Your body's like that, your DNA's like that. If you try and go through this Stargate system and and bring your body online and go through this ascension process, it's either not going to work because you're not going to be compatible, or you're going to overload your body with certain frequencies that it just can't handle right now. And this also brings me back to nutrition and clean eating and looking after our bodies and exercising and doing the breath work and making our bodies physically strong to handle the frequencies that are coming down from the stars and up from the earthly grids to change our DNA. You know, it's a multi-layered, multi-leveled process. You know, looking after the physical, doing the quantum work, and getting it all into alignment. And as we go through this process, just make sure that we're not judging, that we're not blaming, and that we're loving wholly, fully, and unconditionally through this process. So wherever you are on this planet, beautiful soul, just love. No judgment. It doesn't matter where we came from, okay? It doesn't matter where we come from on this planet, for starters. You know, it doesn't matter, like, whether we come from India, whether we come from Germany, whether we come from France, England, Ireland. It doesn't matter, you know. We're all beings on this planet with blood in our bodies. Most of us have got a soul. Not all of us, but you know, that's another story. The most important thing is that we just love, that we be kind, and we just support each other through this process, because it's not easy. What has happened to human beings, what has happened to us here on earth, for most people, they could never even comprehend it. You know, as I said, like, you know, our species, humanity, has had their gene code raped and pillaged for centuries, man. It's just, it's beyond measure. It's beyond comprehension, you know. But when you dive into here and you start to reconnect with your own inner truth, you start to realize this stuff. This is real. And we're here on a mission to undo what's been done and to make things right. And Earth is going through this process. The galaxy's going through this process. It's not just happening here on this planet. It's happening throughout the universe in different locations. So let's be kind, beautiful souls. Let's be love. Let's love each and every single being on this planet. Whether you agree with what they're doing or you disagree with what they're doing, you can still love them. Love is the force, the energy that is going to change things, okay? Wherever you are on this planet, go out and love your sisters and your brothers. Hug them tightly. Hug them so tightly, and never be the first to let go. Love fiercely and ferociously, beautiful soul, and I will see you again very, very soon. One love, one heart, one human family. Peace out, beautiful soul.
Hi, my name is Gregory. I am from Baltimore, Maryland, and I just finished up the Star Magic Level 1 training course. I can say that there are no words in my vocabulary to describe it. We've used amazing and incredible and all those. For those who have a similar background as mine, if you were to marry a Pentecostal revival with a sci-fi convention, then you'd understand what took place this week. It's transformative. You will never be the same, and I know that I certainly will never be the same. Jerry is, again, there aren't words to adequately describe meeting someone who is as dynamic, as caring as what he is. You walk in and you feel the love, and when you have the opportunity to embrace, it goes straight through you, and you feel it, and it's measurable, or maybe it's not measurable because it's beyond measure. It's just something that you feel and you know, and you walk away on the path that you know you're supposed to be on. I don't know that you walk away, I almost said another person, but you walk away as the person who is walking in your truth, and you know it. So I say thank you, Jerry, from every bit of my heart, not just from the bottom.